A continuation of silver and gold have I none. But first, please do me a favor and hit the subscribe button if you didn't do so yet. Like, comment, and share it with a friend. All right, let's begin. The apartment was louder than usual that night. Not because of music, because people were talking all at once. The prayer room had grown faster than Elijah expected. Every week, more people squeezed into the tiny apartment carrying stories, questions, pain, and hunger for God. Some came for prayer. Some came out of curiosity. Some came because they had nowhere else to go. Micah now arrived early every Friday to help set up chairs and prepare coffee. It amazed Elijah every time he saw him smiling. A few months ago, Micah looked completely broken. Now he looked alive again. The room buzzed with conversation, while worship music played softly in the background. Then suddenly, bang, 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 the apartment froze. Another knock. Harder this time. Daniel looked toward the door carefully. Elijah slowly stood. For a moment, nobody moved. Then Elisha opened the door. A middle-aged man stood outside with crossed arms and visible frustration. Behind him stood a woman from another apartment floor. "You people are too loud," the man snapped immediately. "We're sorry," Elijah replied calmly. "No, you don't understand," the woman added. "This has been happening every week." Several people inside the apartment looked nervous. The man pointed inside. "There are strangers constantly coming in and out of this building." Elijah swallowed quietly. "We're just praying together," the man scoffed. At midnight, Daniel stepped closer behind Elijah but remained silent. The hallway suddenly felt tight and uncomfortable. "We don't want trouble," Elijah said gently. "We'll keep it quieter." The man stared at him for a moment, then finally muttered, "You better." The door shut heavily after they walked away. Silence filled the apartment. Nobody knew what to say. Kayla looked worried. "Do you think we should stop meeting here?" The question hit the room hard. Elijah didn't answer immediately, 'cause honestly, part of him wondered the same thing. The prayer room had started so peacefully. Now things felt different. Tense. Complicated. Daniel broke the silence. "You know what's crazy?" Everyone looked at him. This literally happened in Acts. Micah nodded slowly. The disciples got criticized for speaking about Jesus. Elijah sat back down slowly at the table. His Bible still lay open from earlier. Acts chapter 4. He stared quietly at the pages. Peter and John had healed a man. Lives were changing. People were encountering God. But opposition came immediately afterward. Elijah leaned back in his chair, exhaling deeply. Why does resistance always come when something good starts happening? Nobody answered. Because everyone in the room understood that feeling. The next few weeks became harder. Neighbors complained more often. Building management sent warnings. Someone online posted a video mocking the prayer gatherings. Comments flooded in. "These people are brainwashed. Fake Christians. This is emotional manipulation. They need jobs, not prayer meetings." Micah sat scrolling through the comments one night looking angry. How do people hate something that's helping others? Elijah quietly took the phone from his hand and locked the screen. Because light makes some people uncomfortable. Micah shook his head. "I just don't get it." Elijah didn't fully get it either. The criticism bothered him more than he wanted to admit. One night after everyone left, he sat alone at the kitchen table again. The apartment was silent except for rain tapping softly against the windows. He rubbed his tired eyes. "God, am I doing the right thing?" His voice sounded small in the empty room. He thought back to the beginning. The waiting season. The loneliness. The first prayer night. Everything felt simpler then. Now people expected things from him. Some treated him like a leader. Others criticized him online. The pressure felt heavy. His eyes drifted back to Acts chapter 4 again, and one verse caught him immediately. We cannot stop speaking about what we have seen and heard. Elijah stared at the words. Something burned in his chest, because that was the truth. How could they stay silent after everything God had done? They had watched hearts heal, peace return, people encounter God. Micah's life alone was proof enough. Elijah closed his eyes, and slowly, fear began turning into boldness. The following Friday, the apartment filled again. Not as many people this time. Some stopped coming after the online criticism, but those who remained came hungry. Worship started softly. The atmosphere felt fragile at first. Then Elijah stood up. No microphone, no stage, just honesty. I almost canceled tonight. Several people looked surprised. Elijah smiled weakly. I got tired. He paused. Tired of criticism. Tired of pressure. Tired of wondering if I'm failing. The room became very still. But then I read Acts chapter 4. He held up his Bible slightly, and I realized something. His voice strengthened. When God starts moving, opposition usually follows. Several people nodded quietly. Elijah continued. The disciples didn't stop because people criticized them. He looked around the room carefully. And we won't stop either. Something shifted immediately. Faith filled the room again. Not loud hype, real courage. Kayla lifted her hands while tears filled her eyes. Micah smiled quietly to himself. Daniel began worshiping softly again, and suddenly the room that once felt afraid felt strong. Prayer erupted across the apartment. Not polished prayers, bold prayers. God, give us courage. Help us stay faithful. Let this place be yours. The atmosphere grew powerful again, not because circumstances changed instantly, but because fear no longer controlled them. Later that night, after everyone left, Elijah stepped onto the apartment balcony. The city lights stretched endlessly before him. Cold wind brushed against his hoodie. Micah stepped outside beside him, holding 2 mugs of coffee. For a while, neither of them spoke. Then Micah smiled slightly. You know what's funny? What? A few months ago, I came here needing hope. Elijah looked at him. And now I'm helping other people find it. Elijah smiled quietly. That was God. Micah stared out at the city. You think this prayer room will keep growing? Elijah looked upward at the night sky. I think God's just getting started. And deep down, for the first time since the criticism began, he truly believed it.